Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Dom's Italian. Today we're going to be creating the famous Margherita pizza in honor of Queen Margherita. Back in the 1890s in Italy, Queen Margherita was very famous. She helped a lot of poor people, charities, by obviously giving money to those causes. When she visited Naples, a very famous chef in Naples created a pizza for her. It was called the Margherita. That's how the Margherita pizza started. Today, I'm gonna be creating the Margherita pizza in her honor, but with a special twist of gourmet. Yeah, salute. Cheers. Typically, the Margherita pizza has 3 ingredients: sweet basil, tomatoes, and the buffalo mozzarella. Again, this pizza was created for the Queen Margherita. And ironically, these 3 ingredients resemble the colors of the Italian flag in her honor. So our first ingredient for this Margherita pizza is going to be the cherry tomato sauce. We're going to enhance this. We're going to make it more gourmet, where we're going to take the stems and remove them from the cherry tomatoes and place them into a bowl. We're going to add all our ingredients in this bowl and we're going to roast them in the pan in an oven so that we create a charred tomato sauce. Okay, now that I de-stemmed all the tomatoes from the vine, we're gonna add some olive oil. We're gonna season it so that when we place it in the pan for charbroil, it will become absolutely flavorful. So to that, we're gonna add some garlic. I'm gonna add some crushed garlic to the bottom of the pan that we're gonna be placing the tomatoes in. I'm also gonna be adding some rosemary to the bottom of the pan for that nice flavor. And I'm gonna add a pinch of salt and a drop of wine. Yes, you heard it, wine. Not too much, maybe just a teaspoon. And I'm gonna saute this with my hands. I'm gonna make sure that all the tomatoes are greasy or oily with olive oil, of course, so that once it's baked, it's gonna be tasting fantastic. And just before it goes into the oven, I'm gonna add some fresh oregano. Oh, this looks awesome. And it's gonna taste fantastic. Okay, these are now ready to go in the oven, and we're gonna charbroil them for about 15 minutes or so, but we need to keep an eye on them because we don't want to burn the tops off of these. So while we wait for the tomatoes to cook, what we're gonna do is, of course, have a sip of wine and get the pizza toppings ready for the pizza. So we're gonna start with the mozzarella, buffalo mozzarella. We're gonna slice them into small chunks, not too big, because we want them to melt onto the pizza. So you don't wanna cut them too big, because we do want them to melt as they're cooking. And I figure 1 ball of buffalo mozzarella is probably just about right, or maybe just too much, but we'll judge it once the pizza's made. And of course, we're gonna use some fresh basil as a pizza topping. But rather than put on the whole leaf, I like to chop them up. I think it looks better when they're chopped. It kind of gives a little bit more color, especially against the white background of the buffalo mozzarella. And we also need to add this garlic. So we're gonna chop this down into small pieces, not too big. We don't wanna bite into big pieces of garlic. Just very fine pieces will be perfect. And I can smell the garlic right now. It smells fantastic. With the basil, oh my God. What a smell. Okay, so we better keep an eye on these cherry tomatoes to see how they're doing. Oh yeah, I can see them becoming caramelized already. You can see the black spots on top. We're gonna let it go for a few more minutes and then we're gonna take them out. At that point, they should be soft enough to be applied to the pizza dough. So now we're ready to stretch out the dough. This dough was made a couple days ago and it was refrigerated or fermented in the fridge for over 48 hours. And the appearance and the feel, the texture of this dough is very soft, which is what a good dough should feel like. You can see the air pockets in this dough, and typically that's what you expect when a dough has fully fermented and has sat in the refrigerator and of course in the open room where it's going to be cooked for several hours. The dough is very soft, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply pressure from the center to the outside, but I'm not going to squish the outside. I want that to be like a crust, right? Nice and airy and soft once it's all stretched out onto the pan. You can add a little bit of flour. Sometimes the dough is sticky, but we're gonna do this by hand until we get the size of the dough that we require. We're gonna sprinkle a little bit more flour on there. If the dough is too moist and you don't want it sticking to your hands while you're working with it, always add flour. All right, I think the tomatoes are ready to come out now. Wow, look at that charcoal. Look at that amazing look. This is gonna add some great flavor to the pizza. And this is our sauce, baby. I'm gonna add some garlic for some flavor. And that way, there's gonna be some osmosis of the garlic into the tomato for that extra garlicky flavor, and also a little bit of basil. One more ingredient, the rosemary. We'll let that sit on top. Let those tomatoes savor these herbs for a few minutes before we apply it to the dough. So we're gonna take these tomatoes individually and put them on the pizza. And you're gonna see the juices spread out. And that'll be our tomato sauce. Look at that fresh tomato sauce. Amazing. You wanna be careful, you don't wanna punch into the dough, because if you do that, you'll have a hole in your pizza. So let's just spread these out. And really, this is gonna be a gourmet margherita. Look at the charcoal flavor or caramelized flavor that we're gonna get from these sweeties. Look at the juices. Look at these juices. So we're gonna add a little bit more garlic. A little bit more basil. We're gonna add just a little bit of Parmesan, shredded Parmesan, just for a little bit of extra flavor. And this smells amazing already, and it hasn't even been cooked. We're going to apply the buffalo mozzarella. And here we go with a little bit more buffalo mozzarella. So one ball of mozzarella is sufficient for this size pizza. And we're going to add a little bit of extra cheese. And one of my favorites is the blue cheese, which is very uncommon on a margherita pizza, but you gotta try it. It's amazing. This pizza is ready to cook, and it should take about 20 minutes. Now we just gotta wait and see. So you know what that means. A little bit of wine for me, guys. Cheers. Maybe a little bit more wine. Yeah. Salute. Okay, guys, this pizza's gotta be ready to come out by now. And yes, it is. Wow. Oh, wow, wow, wow. Look at this margarita. What a beauty. So I'm just gonna sprinkle some olive oil on top. And now that we sprinkled olive oil, we're gonna add a little bit more basil. We're gonna spread it around. We're gonna let it cool. And we're gonna top it off with a little bit of black pepper. And that, my friends, is a gourmet pizza, the Margherita pizza with a twist. And now's the time to cut the pizza Margherita. Oh, it's so hot. Oh, I'm gonna burn myself. The best pizza ever made. Thank you for watching. Cheers. Guys, thank you again for joining me this week. If you have any suggestions on a particular type of wine, send me a comment and I'll try to find out for our next episode. Thank you. Cheers. Have a great week.